Hey y'all, ready? Let's play this intro.
Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV, church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina and Clovis, special guests. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
A heartfelt thank you to all of our subscribers who joined us for this video. If you have not already subscribed, go to our YouTube channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. Subscribe and click on the notification bell to be alerted whenever we go live. Join our private Juice community. Go to www.thejuicecommunity.com and sign up for free. Join us, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. We have our Money Monday financial series. It is a lunch and learn program at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. Also on Monday, we have our reality series and hot topics at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, we have Bible study at 7:30 p.m. Thursdays, we have church news at 7:30 p.m. We also offer motivational moments, happy marriage lifestyle, news from a godly perspective, movie reviews, as well as our single moms club, Let's Talk Ex-Millennials, and of course, our Cooking with Clovis. Follow us on our podcast channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show Podcast, streaming on all podcast platforms. A great big thank you to our podcast production company, Noye Podcast Productions. They can help you create your own podcast also. Contact them today at houseofnoye.com. Thank you to our sponsor, Custom Apparel Shop. Have them complete your embroidery work and silk screening needs. Do you need a logo created for your fashion apparel or company? Contact Israel Mason today. That is 786-657-7501. Thank you to our main sponsor, Truth and Triumph Ministries. Truth and Triumph Ministries, a ministry that cares about telling people the truth so they can triumph in life. Thank you, Truth and Triumph Ministries, for all you do.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? You guys, Sarah Jakes Robert went on social media and she chatted with her wonderful husband. Shout out to the wonderful husbands out there. They had a nice conversation about why she took her wig off, and it was so enlightening to see a husband support his wife. And the conversation they had was beautiful to watch. Now, as you all know, there was a whole big thing that went on because as Sarah Jakes was preaching, I believe it was this past Sunday, her wig started having issues. Now, let me tell you why I applaud Sarah Jakes Roberts, because she handled this situation like a pro that she is. Listen, when this incident started going on, Sarah Jakes' message was lock in. And she was telling the people, you have to lock in with God. With situations happening in your life, make sure that you lock in with God. Block out all the other stuff that's going on around you, no matter what's happening in your life. Like the woman with the issue of blood, she even used that scenario and parable in the message. And she let people know that things happen in your life, but no matter what's going on, you need to be ready and stay focused on God. Now, I don't know if Sarah actually knew that this wig incident was going to take place during this magnificent sermon that she did. But I believe it was right on time for the message that she was trying to get across to the people. I also believe that it impacted the people even more so because Sarah handled this in a fabulous fashion. Now, Sarah says in the conversation that she's having with her husband, she didn't know how it was going to come up because people, you know, how they can be on social media. They can take stuff and run with it. And there's been a lot of narrative and a lot of talk about this situation. Hey, Succeeding Two, I see you. I'll bring you up in a second. There's been a lot of talk about this situation. And Sarah was probably thinking, which she just has a conversation about this too, that, people are going to take this and they're going to talk about me and they're going to, try and make me feel bad and so forth or whatever. And her husband was giving her the enlightenment and the courage to know, don't even pay attention to those naysayers. This situation happened and it needed to happen, and it's going to bless more people than the people that are laughing at it. And he's absolutely right, because this was great. Now, I got up this morning, read my Bible verse, as I always do. And as I was scrolling through some social media stuff, Sarah Jake's video came up. Not the one on the screen. I'm going to bring that one up next. But her video came up where she was having this conversation with her husband on her YouTube channel. Now, I have the links in the description. Y'all know what I do. I share the information. Both these videos are in my description, so you can check those out. But the wonderful thing I love is that Sarah was having this open conversation online so that everybody can see her vulnerability and also her bravery. And she handled this again. Sarah, let me tell you, I agree with her husband. She did more good by taking off the wig in public and being bold and not fearful about it. She saved more people with that than I think any other part of that message. Now, let's go on. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Succeeding Two. She's joining us. Thank you so much, Succeeding Two, for being here.
Hi, how are you?
Girl, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Thank you
Hello,
so
everyone in
much for joining
chat.
us. Hey, listen, did you see this video about Sarah Jakes taking off her wig?
I did, and I had to jump in. And the reason I had to jump in is because I've actually had the privilege of seeing Sarah in person. She's done 2 years of our women's conferences at church. When she first became, and get this, when at this time she said she was not a conference speaker, but Sarah has always been very transparent. Once she started walking in her calling,
Mm-hmm.
she has been transparent. I mean, she shared her testimony, she shared her life. She's talked about being a teenage mom. She's
Yeah.
talked about what that looked like. So does that surprise me? Because if she shared, what she felt, she said, were her scars. That's what she
Yes.
called it. She said, we all
Yes.
have scars. I'm not surprised.
I was so happy, Succeeding Two, when I saw this, because, like we all know, social media can really drag stuff through the mud, and they could really make the message that the minister is trying to get out there be diminished by what they're trying to make into mess.
Yes.
But this one was so powerful. There's no way. I don't care what any blogger says about her wig coming off. If anybody actually goes to try to find the footage of this video, they're going to be impacted in a positive way. That's what
absolutely. I think so.
This was amazing. I loved it. And even her extreme boldness that came out. Now, I don't have the audio running right now because, there's strikes on YouTube, but here, you guys, she's telling them right there. She's like, listen, I'm about to take this off and I'm okay with that.
Yes.
And she kind of looked to somebody for a moment there to be kind of like, okay, look, y'all, I'm about to take this off, almost to say, listen, I don't know if y'all agree or disagree or whatever, but she's going to do it. And before this even happened, she was preaching in the front, and somebody motioned to her to pull her wig down. And so she did that. She kind of pulled it down and she said it on there, hey, me justice and so forth. And she, was like, talking about the message, and she went on, and then all of this transpired. And I really love like you said, the transparency of this happening. But again, she took it to a level where I am really applauding her.
Yes.
Because, and she just kept walking, and the boldness of it. I was cheering when I saw it. I was absolutely cheering.
Sarah reminds me, because I've seen her dad at our church as well. She reminds me of a combination. She's the perfect combination of both of her parents.
Yes.
She's definitely, her and her sister, they both, great, ministers, but they're both different and they both have their own um calling. And it's so funny because she said, I don't know why you all invited me back. I'm not really a conference speaker. And we invited her back. She came back the next year. And then the third year, she wasn't able to come back because guess what she was at that point? She
What's that?
started doing her own conferences and took two people from our church, you hear me, to
Okay.
be on her staff.
I love it. Listen, I really am really pleasantly surprised and happy
Yeah, I'm
about
not
this
surprised at
transparency.
all because and that's why she comes across and why she has. Sarah is the only person that I have seen. I've seen a lot of people at my church, different, people of that level. She is the only person that every woman of every age at this particular conference, okay, picture this, a few thousand women, couple thousand or so, every age, you could just feel the love in the air for her. You could
Yes,
feel the respect. It's just something. And she is so, she's not about airs. She just comes across as just being genuine and just being
yes.
herself.
Yes. And I love that. And I love that. And I love the conversation that she had with her husband. I'll bring that up here on our next video. So hang tight over here with me, Succeeded to. I'd appreciate it. I want to say hello to all of you who are in the comments because I love and respect
I'm
all of you and want to just share my hellos to you. Aaron, how you doing, Aaron? Thank you for being here. Aaron's reminding y'all to click the notification bell and also hit the thumbs up on this video. Hit the thumbs up. It helps with our algorithm. We want to go ahead and get this video out and it helps with that. Hey, Gladys, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you also for being here. And Gladys says this. She says, I love watching her and her father.
Oh
I love
yeah.
them too. Let me tell you this. Thank you so much, Aaron. Aaron is saying hello to everybody. Look, Succeeding too also is in the chat saying good evening. You guys were in here early. I love it. I love it. Her father, Bishop T.D. Jakes, you guys, I don't know if any of you actually know this, but if you watch my channel and have seen me for a while, you know that I was raised in West Virginia,
Okay.
where Bishop T.D. Jakes came from.
Yes.
And I attended his church on summers when I would go and visit our grandparents in West Virginia. I remember him when I was a little girl, maybe about 8 years old. And my grandmother would take us to church with him. And it was a little white church. And we would walk up this steep little hill. And he was always standing at the door greeting everybody as they came in.
Wow.
Great, big, tall gentleman. Always. I mean, he's the same today as he was back then. He has not changed at all in my eyes. He has not changed at all. Fame hasn't changed him. None that he is still the same great guy. Love people, love communicating with people, just great people. And she comes from great stock, both, TD Jakes and, his wife, Sarita. Great stock.
Yes, she
Yeah,
definitely does. And I think that message that she brought for women is very timely today as
it
well.
is. It is. And what's your thoughts on that? Because when I sat here and I like, again, when she started preaching this, I was like, yes, like you said, you have to have transparency. And a lot of times we allow the makeup, the hair, the clothes, all this stuff to think that it has to be perfect. And like she says on the next video that I'm going to bring up, we don't have to live in that perfection. We can be, vulnerable. We can be open. We don't have to let all that stuff, because she could have easily said, I'm not going to preach no more. I'm going to stop right now. My wig is coming off. And ain't no telling who would have walked out that door and left the church and missed a magnificent message. But she stayed there in that. That's what I call bravery and boldness and willing to serve the people more than you want to get the people to look at you in a certain way. I love the
Yes.
message. I love I was locked in. Like she said, I was locked in too.
Yes. And I had a pastor I worked for, and he used to talk about walking in a holy boldness. And that is definitely what she did in this
Yeah.
respect, is she definitely came with the holy boldness. And you're not so caught up in what she has on or so much as her hair and all of that as you are that message. You're definitely going to hear that message.
Yes, yes. I loved it. I loved it. So, and look, and she's beautiful. Look at the
She's gorgeous.
earrings and all this, come on
She's
now.
gorgeous because she's dressed up now. I've seen her in jeans, and she's gorgeous. I mean, she just delivers the word. It's
I
in her
love
heart,
it.
and she just delivers. And the thing, she does it with love, just love of people.
I love that. Hey, all is well 714. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let's go on to this next video. Let me get this next video up where she's having a beautiful conversation with her husband. And this was beautiful. And again, I love that he's supporting her and
Definitely.
that they had this conversation going on. And I might play a little bit of this one. Let's go ahead and add this. This is her husband. Her husband's name is Pastor Torrey Roberts. And this was a really beautiful conversation they had. Hey, Tammy, thank you for being here. Tammy says he has changed in my eyes since he didn't have the courtesy to pay respects a mother in his church when she passed. Sorry, Regina, that's where I am. And that's okay, Tammy. We can have difference of opinions and still love one another. I understand. Everybody may not view him the same way. That's perfectly fine. Don't worry about that, girl. No apologies necessary. All right. So let's look at this beautiful conversation that he was having with his wife. Let me go ahead and turn this
And
up.
David was like, "Who are you, you uncircumcised Philistine?" He had this courage and this boldness. And I think that you represent, especially for women, but I think for some men too. I think that you represent what people want to be but don't know how to be. We got memes all day long, and believe it's not about what you wear, or it's not about how my value is, and all that kind of stuff. But who really walks in it? Like, who really, and not that it is wrong for anybody to struggle with walking in that and standing in that, but back to you. I feel like God has chosen you to be a champion, to show people how to win, to show people how to be bold and courageous. I mean, there were women taking off their wigs. Boom. I mean, if I was there, I probably would have ripped my shirt. You know what I mean? Something like I shaved my head. I don't know. I would have done something, but you inspired. Watch this. The word encourage, to put courage in. And I think that you have an anointing, and it's just really you being who you are that literally puts courage in people.
Now that part I love that he said, and you let me know your thoughts succeeding too. When he says you encourage, you put courage in people. And she did exactly that when she, like he said, she took off her wig, and then the women in the audience started taking off their wigs. And now maybe people, when they come to church, and she has her wig on right here also, but now probably when people come to church, the way I see it as, people may be like, well, my wig don't have to be perfect, or I don't have to wear this wig, or some people, they won't even go to church if their wig is not right, so forth. But she let them know, just go ahead and come on in as you are. What's your thoughts on this?
I agree. I think that she is definitely a person that likes to encourage. It's definitely one of her spiritual gifts. And I think Torre, he did our Bible study. He's the same way to me. And I love the way they love each other. I love the way that they encourage each other.
Yes, yes. When I tell you this was so beautiful, this video, I'm going to run it back to the beginning because I want you guys to hear her part of what she was saying on here. So let me go ahead and run this part so you can hear this part too.
Hey,
Hey, good
how
looking.
are you?
I'm doing good, baby. Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. This makes me, I don't know if this is, I feel nerves. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, nerves are normal. It's all good. Why? What do you feel the nerves about? Like,
Well, I have not gone. I posted about Sunday, but I haven't really spoken about it since everything happened. And, I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal, but it was definitely, you know, a vulnerable moment post Sunday service. And so I don't know, I just wanted to get on and kind of process about Sunday and the response and what I think, happened in that moment.
yeah, I think it actually was a big deal.
And that part, she said that she was in a vulnerable moment. And you could see as the start of this video, she's uncomfortable to even have the conversation. But again, Sarah is showing her bravery.
Yes.
And I believe that this is healing somewhere for her also. Because again, like she said, in her vulnerable state, that was an uncomfortable moment for her. And she still sounds to me like she's still dealing with whatever took place. But again, she's doing the brave thing. She's having a conversation. Having that conversation is very much a part of the healing for her and for others. Because sometimes, thank you, Holy Spirit, sometimes what we do, we get caught up in the outer appearance and how to fix all of this up. And when this doesn't fit what we think it should look like, we hide behind that. And we don't show our true selves. What's your thoughts on this beautiful video?
So I have a little bit of a different thought on
Sure.
it. And my thought is that sometimes we don't know what else is going on, because sometimes you know how you're interceding on behalf of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say you talk to someone and they're going through chemotherapy and they've talked
Yeah.
about, and you think about all of those things and you think about what goes along with that. And you think, well, I wear this because I choose to. But you think about what that person suffers. And what makes me think about that is I remember training for a half marathon, and one of the things that, and I'm not really a person like to do a lot of stuff in the rain, like outside running around with my clothes on in the rain. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember asking, I was really concerned about this. So I trained with a team and I said, well, what do I do if it rains? And they said, well, we run. And the
Mm.
one thing that some of the people on a team used to say is they talked about what people went through. So, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we thought about. So
Yes.
we would think about what they went through. Do you see what I'm saying? And we
Yes.
think about how we get so caught up in this, and we're caught up in this vanity of this moment. Yet this person can't stand to have this because it irritates their scalp, and it makes you kind of think of things a little different. And it does sometimes change our perspective to not getting so caught up in things.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. I love that. I love that. And Fifi says, hey Fifi, how you doing? Fifi says that's a great point, succeeding to different perspectives. And that's what we love here on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. Different perspectives. I totally agree with that.
And
I love it.
hey,
I love
Fifi. And Fifi is there with a powerful speaker. We had two Real Talk Kim Portier Jones. She's there in town, I think, with her. And I mean, these are women that are just transparent, like take your shoes off and, just where you just feel comfortable. And I just think that that's really who she is, that
yeah.
vulnerable. And as large as that church is, that there are a lot of people that kind of put on these different things, in order to be in the presence of a large church. I
Mm-hmm.
go to a large church, but there's not a whole lot. Everyone dresses, different. Some dress up, some, it's come as you are,
Yes.
still, but everyone still has their own, styles of whatever. But then there are churches where you have to put on all the pomp and circumstance. And in that church, I haven't been, but it appears to be that it probably is a lot of that going on. And it seems like, and maybe, how sometimes when you work in ministry, you see that there's an issue. So sometimes you're also addressing an issue that's going
Mm-hmm.
on in the church. So you're talking women's ministry.
Yeah.
Okay. And you see what's going on in the church. These ladies are coming and they're missing that good portion. Think about Mary. You're missing Martha. You're missing that good portion because you're so caught up in the pomp and circumstance of things.
I love it. Hey, Latoya, how you doing?
Hey,
Thank you,
Latoya.
Latoya. Fifi says it. Listen, Succeeded to you said a wonderful, wonderful batch of information there. I love the conversation. Fifi says I connect with speakers who are able to just have a conversation.
Yes, me too. I'm with Fifi.
Yeah, that part. I love that. I love people that just be themselves, and I like it's kind of like oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. It's kind of like undress in front of me, but not take your clothes off, but take off the facades.
Yes.
Okay, I don't need people to get all dressed in front of me. Just undress. Just take off the facades, take off all of that stuff, and just come to me and just have a conversation.
Yes. Now
Something.
I'll tell you a side note.
Yes.
We had the lady that played on War Room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That played
That was a beautiful movie.
Clara. That
Yes.
played okay, so they thought at our conference they were getting Clara. That's not who she is. And she is a storyteller, and she's a very honest person as well, where she's gonna come, she's gonna be real. She laid on the floor, in fact. Karen Abernathy, that's her name. And they thought that they were gonna get Clara, and they were shocked. So it kind of did surprise them in a different way, because they were expecting Clara, and that's not who she was. That's who her character was. And
Right.
she brought her authentic self. So on the flip side, there are some people that aren't ready for even our realness.
That's true. That's true. Do you think that this message that Sarah did, and with taking off her wig and having the message, do you think this will impact and change some of the other churches as well? Or
I think it will impact women.
That's good.
I think, and with women, you know how it is. We tell two friends and we tell two friends. We tend to have more of an impact on each other than the church as a whole having that impact on us.
Yes, I think that's great. And I'm glad that you said that part, that it will impact women, because let's look at the catty side of what some women can do, even in churches. They could come and see a woman's wig is not, on right. Maybe it's twisted, maybe it's leaning, maybe it's showing her tracks or something. And instead of just acting as though you don't see it, they talk about it. They cackle about it.
Exactly.
With others. And at that point, I've never liked that type of thing.
No. And we don't know what a person is going through, or what a person has to, sometimes we're so caught in what's going on with us, and things may be going on well. We don't know what another person is going through just to survive each day. People are facing real life issues. I remember being on a downtown Chicago on my way to work, and I heard some people, I didn't know them, and they were talking, and they said, "Tell her." And I said, and I'm not a person that usually gets in people's business like that. I said, "Tell who what?"
Right.
And so they said, "Her dress is on backwards." I said, "Well, let her know, because wouldn't you want someone to let you know?" And so, and we're and so I was close enough where I could hear him tell her, and and she thanked them, so that way she can go to work and turn it on. Who knows, maybe she had an outage, maybe she didn't have electricity.
something else could have happened. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you have to be real careful about telling each other, telling the other lady, this, or telling the guy that, or, whatever it is, because everybody won't always accept stuff in the way that you're probably trying to present it, you
They
know,
won't, but you never know how a person will, but kind of whispering it a little low, which is what they did. Your dress is going
respectfully.
backwards.
Yes.
Is kind of, because I told you one time I got off the train and someone was walking in front of me and I could hear everyone laughing. And I noticed she had on a dress and she obviously didn't do the back check that I used to do when I worked downtown. Before I walked out the door, I did the back check to make
Mhm.
sure that the front and the back were looking the same and nothing rose in the back, if you know what I
Okay.
mean.
I
And
do.
so she's walking, and as she's walking, that dress is going dun dun dun, and everyone's laughing because you could see. And so I caught up with her and I said, the reason that there are people behind you, they're laughing, and let me tell you why.
Oh, how did she take that?
She, thanked me.
Good. Because you
Because what is a
whispered it.
person, what I mean? What are they going to say in that case? Don't
Right.
tell me you could see my underwear. You know what I mean? So, because I don't think anyone goes out necessarily. It wasn't the clubs. You know what I mean? She's commuting, taking a train where she's paid a couple of $100 a month to take. So,
Mhm.
she's there for a legitimate, type of hustle, not at a club, type of setting. Like in a club, someone may have a certain feeling, but I think as women, that is something that we do have to be conscious of. We've all seen that thing that
Yeah.
says fixing a sister's crown, but
There
we
you
have
go.
to do that purposely and lift our sisters up and let our sisters know, we're there to support them, or if
Yeah.
something's wrong.
Yes, support. And that's the part, I was talking with a young lady at an event I did on Saturday, and she works with young girls. We're going to have her on the platform. And she says that too many women are out here, instead of fixing their sister's crown, they're trying to tilt their sister's crown. And she's saying that in an effort of, they're basically just trying to mess them up instead of help fix them up. And we have to start trying to help each other out and fix each other up, and not all of this other stuff. And I'm loving, again, this that happened with her, and I'm praying that women will take this and understand it's not about, your hair, your clothes, because she mentioned her clothes, her shoes, and all that stuff, but it's also about making sure that we are seeing each other as who we are, and not all this dress up stuff. And if my sister, or women out there, when I say my sister, I'm talking about ladies out there, if their wig isn't on straight, or I see tracks or whatever, sometimes I just act like I don't see it, but still have a great conversation with the woman. Or sometimes I'll do like Succeeding To said, and I'll make a whisper and say, can I help? Can I adjust this for you just slightly, but not make a scene or anything
Right.
like that? Or just, hey, let's go to the restroom and take care of this or whatever. And I want respectfully somebody to do the same thing for me. I've had people come up to me and tell me, girl, can I fix, the back of your hair? And I'm like, sure, please do. So I love that viewpoint that you had, Succeeding To. I
Thank
love that.
you.
And I love this that she did. Let's listen in a little bit more, and then we're going to log out of here. But let's take a listen to what she's saying here.
Maybe you don't call it magic. Maybe you call it something else, but you believe that it has power. And because you have divided up what you think has power, I'll take this because I think it has power. I'll take that because it has power. You can't even really experience the power of Jesus, because Jesus has been diluted by all of the other things that you believe have power. But I want to give you an opportunity to lock in for real. I know you think that sex has power. I know you think the crystals have power. I know you think that the witchcraft has power. I hate it, but if we're going to be real, we might as well be real. I know you think it has power, but I hear God saying that I've got more power than all of those things, but you didn't lock in with me. And because you didn't lock in with me, you feel like you needed a counterfeit. But I hear God saying you got the real deal, baby. And when God gets finished with you, the real deal shows up everywhere.
Amen, Sarah. Amen.
Yes, it sure
Amen.
does.
The real deal will show up everywhere. Well, I love it. And I wanted to come on here real brief and just have this conversation about the beautiful Sarah Jakes Roberts, beautiful message that she preached on there. It is on the link. The description is in the link here on our description page here. Y'all, if you would like, go check it out. Look at the entire sermon. It was absolutely amazing. I loved every bit of it. I loved also every bit of the conversation that she had. And I'm praying that a lot of these young girls and women, older women will get this and they would understand the significance of what happened with this wig coming off. There is more power in what happened than all this laughter that took place on it. So I wanted to have it on my channel, not in an effort to laugh at it or giggle, because y'all know I didn't even bring it on my channel when the whole thing happened. I said, nope, I'm not doing that. You know, I understand the message. I understand what happened. I'm not joining in on the giggles and stuff like that. But when she came on this morning and did this one, I said, okay, here we go. Now we're going to have it on here because we're going to let you guys know that she's talking about this. And again, she talked about her vulnerability. You know, there's something that, you know, she's still dealing with. But it's really great that she has a wonderful husband that supports her and showed her the power of the message so that she don't get caught up in thinking, oh my goodness, I took my wig off. Because sometimes that's what happens. Preachers will preach a powerful message, and then when they get backstage or get at home, they start looking at the negatives of the message. You know, oh, you know, my wig came off. Oh no, now, you know, nobody's going to hear this or hear that. But it's great that her husband is there to encourage her and let her know, don't focus on that. Focus on what you just did. And what she did was mighty. And the video has gone, of course, viral. And I believe in a positive way. What's your thoughts as we close out?
I agree. I think so. And I think sometimes, you know how sometimes with different things we overanalyze things. Sometimes we get caught up in ourself. And ourself is our worst critic. You know, and I think she probably started processing it and she's kind of like, you know, I hope I didn't take away from, you know, what the Holy Spirit was really wanting me to do. And I, you know, didn't want the emphasis to be on me. I hope it didn't, you know, so I think sometimes we do that as women, as we do start kind of, well, I say that, but you know what? I've heard pastors say the same thing when they get home, actually their families, because I remember my pastor's family saying how they told him you can't do it more than 20 minutes. Once you get to that point, you got to start wrapping it up. But I think sometimes we do become our worst critics. But you know what, I actually think we're living in a time where I really think a lot of women are encouraging each other. Actually, I have to say, and I think a little differently with respect to that. I mean, because think about it, it's only been in the last, I would say, 7 to 10 years. If you look up women lifting up, look how many memes you see. Black girl magic. When have you seen that before with so many people, giving women, yes, this is Black girl magic. Yes, they're doing this because of, and they're really happy for them. And then even when we look at the number of women that have started businesses, even that is showing. They say Black women are the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in the USA. And they say that we are 2.7 million. And who is supporting us?
I love that. Let me tell you, I love women coming together and really doing this true sisterhood.
Yes. And I think, although it's not everyone, because, we're always going to have people that maybe even based on their upbringing, they don't know how to build other women up. But I think that women love seeing other successful women as a whole. They love learning. That's why on Love and Marriage Huntsville, not to get off subject, that's why women were so disappointed, because they wanted to see this show about entrepreneurs, because it is a different time. And the reason that these shows are not having success is they have not caught up with our minds. Our minds are not the same as it was when Real Housewives of Atlanta started. Our minds are further. We want businesses. We want to do more. We want to make more moves. We don't want to just watch people watch from the back seat and, always be a backseat driver and watch people just buying things and doing things and going on vacation. We want to go on vacation too. And how do we do that is by building our own, brand. So that's why women, people wanted to learn from these people, but they haven't caught up with our brains.
Ooh, I'm telling you, like all is well say. He said that's good. Absolutely. That she's speaking a whole bunch. Listen, succeeded too. She's got a whole bunch of positivity in what she just said. And you're right, with these reality shows. That's why I kind of slowed down on some of the reality show reviews on my channel, because it was going into a whole bunch of negative and not a lot of the positive. And I'm like you, I'm a business person, and I want people to learn about how you build wealth. How do you create wealth? You don't just have to be the one that watch all the people on social media or TV that have wealth. You could become that as well. So I'm into that stuff also. Brand. There's so
we
many.
know you are. You bring it. You bring all of that to us. But now this is interesting though. Think about this. This is exciting as women to say that today. Do
Yeah.
you know that 17% of Black women are in the process of starting a new business compared to 10% of everyone else?
I love that.
So this is a different time we're in. We're in a time where we have access to information and we are utilizing
that part. And if we'll go ahead and collab together, we could get those businesses up and running even faster. Instead of just
Yes.
trying to be apart or laughing and laughing at each other. And so if we would come together and collaborate together, that's why I love Diva, the gray hair, what is her channel? The Chronicles of Gray Hair Diva. I love her. She is such a support person. She is, from day one, when I saw her channel, she's always been very supportive. She goes over there and she supports Sherelle's World. She supports Royer. She supports, AT2. She supports, all these other channels. Naughty Love Movement. And I love Naughty Love also. She's one of these women that's on social media. Her channel, Naughty Love Movement. She's doing it out here the right way. She's collabing with other people. She's an uplifting, empowering. She's even got head wraps that she makes, and she calls them crowns, and she, has them on her site for purchase because she wants young women and young girls to know that they're royalty. Stuff like this. And we all get together on our channels and we share and we collab with one another because we want to uplift and help each other's brands to grow.
Yes.
And I love that. And just imagine how much more the women's businesses could grow if women would get together and do the same thing, collab with one another. I've even purchased some things from Naughty Love's site because, hey, I want to collaborate with you. Let me help, with you with your venture and stuff like that. And even, with other people out here as well. So I love what you're saying. 17%, of women out here. Come on, let's do it. Let's make it that number even higher. And the only way we're going to do that is we have to teach people the right business ways of doing stuff. And that's why, again, I love our Money Mondays that we do here on the platform with Pastor Tawana Grant, because it's teaching us this business aspect. We're about to have a new series that's going to be jumping off this Monday. I think we're finishing up with the bankruptcies. And then the following week, we're going to do children's information. And then we're starting into business, everything you need to know to start a business.
Yes. And that's where that score will come in.
Yes. Because we don't call you in on that succeeded too. We need you to be here on Mondays, but I know you work on Mondays, right?
I sent you a message. I let you know I was available for this Monday.
Good. Okay. All right. And I'm talking about the following Mondays also. I'll let you know all of that too. I'll send you an email.
Yeah, let me know. If you let me know in advance, I could shift some things around.
I love that. We're going to do that because we're going to help all these women become business entrepreneurs, and not just business entrepreneurs, but to keep and sustain your businesses.
That's true. And the other thing is that it's important for us to have a tax shelter.
Ooh.
And so that's where wealthy people, they have a tax shelter. Their tax shelter are their losses that they create. And that tax shelter becomes your losses depending. And so sometimes people think, oh, I sell this on the side or I do this on the side. But when they're not reporting that, they're harming themselves, possibly depending on that. Because although you may have to pay that very small amount of self-employment taxes, let's just say it's, like I used to sell art for a company called Artistic Impressions, where you would go and do home shows and things like that. And you would go to people's houses and you would have your meetings. So think about your mileage. That stuff adds up. So you figure your
Ooh, yes.
mileage for your car. And so you may not be, or in some people's case, they may be claiming the vehicle, depending upon what that is. And you're missing out on that deduction when you're saying, oh, I don't want the government in my business. Well, you're losing out. And then there may be business use of your house, maybe for that portion of that,
Oh,
that
yes.
space.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of information that we're going to share. We're going to do all of that on our Money Monday. And then what I may do is I may come on one evening and do an evening series for those that can't join the Money Monday, because I want people to have this information. I may just do like a whole thing where I put like the series is maybe 4, 5, 6 series together and minimize them to maybe an hour show that we do in the evening. I think I'm going to do something
like a micro session. That's powerful.
Yes, yes. I love it. We do our PowerPoint and all that good stuff so we can make sure that the people get the information. But Succeeding to, thank you so much for being here as we chit chat about the beautiful Sarah Jakes Roberts. I appreciate
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. It's always a pleasure to hear you and to see your smile and come across and just to share this information with us. You're just a blessing to all of us.
Thank you so much. And thank you. I appreciate that. And Erin says, yes, growing together, bringing each other up. I love it.
And Erin is the leader of that.
Oh my goodness. Yes, she is. Erin is, oh my goodness. Erin was sent to me by Jesus himself.
I bet he was. Erin is the leader of that. She is an encourager. She's someone that, if she hasn't had her personality, like have you done Myers-Briggs possibly for ministry? Erin would come out as an encourager.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And a supporter. She is
Fifi too. Fifi and LaToya, they're just natural. It just comes natural. Robin, the gift of encouraging.
That's right. And that seems to be what God is leading to connect to the people that's on the channel. And that's amazing because, you ask for God to build your channel and then you build it with certain people. And then God says, okay, now that you build it with those, let me weed out some of those and let me build you with who's going to be sustainable and that fits the mold.
Right. Because it's not always for the channel. It's to take that channel other places.
You better come on Succeeded too.
You see, because you know how with timing and with so much information, but if you could take that out to other places and have like what did they used to call them? You know how they used to do those email blast emails where you're able to send a blast out and send that out where they just get that, with your podcast information.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And Erin loves it too. She says, thank you, Succeeding too, for sharing your knowledge with all of us. I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you, Erin.
Thank you, Erin. She said, I love that idea, Juice. We're going to do that. We're going to have an evening show. We're going to do that as well.
She is sweeter than a cupcake and a Cinnabon together.
I'm telling you, she is.
You mean a cupcake and a Cinnabon. You know how sweet a Cinnabon is.
And put them together. Yes.
Okay, so she is super sweet. I just love her.
Erin says, Succeeding to, you are such a wonderful person. Thank you for coming in. I just
said the same thing about you.
Yes. And Erin and Fifi says, amen. Erin is the best.
Fifi is cute as a button and she's a genuine person herself. I love her, but she's an encourager as well.
She is, and she's a great supporter. She is.
Erin is. I don't know how Fifi fits it all in. I'm going to have a conversation with her one day on time management because somehow she fits it all in.
She does. She does. Erin said, I love this community and everyone in it. We love you too. We love you too. She said, Fifi, thank you for sharing this channel and being here. I smile every time I see it.
Yes, I do too.
Everywhere I see it. We ride these streets together. We do, Erin.
Yes.
I love it. Well, thank you again, Succeeding too. I'll be inboxing you. Thank you all viewers for watching. Thank you for being here. You guys go and watch the video, Sarah Jake's video. Both of the links are in the description on this page. And remember, uplift one another, uplift your brothers and your sisters, okay? And know this, don't put too much emphasis on the outer appearance, especially when you're trying to find your walk with God, because he may do exactly what he did with Sarah. He may take off that outer and have it another thing to be shown, and that thing may be what the people want to see, and that's your natural beauty and your true you. But if you want to wear the wigs, we're okay with that too. We're okay with that too. Just understand that that's not what makes you beautiful. It's your inside, your personality, your actions, and your love for one another. That's truly what makes you beautiful. And I thank y'all for being here so much. We're going to get out of here for now, but we'll be back with another great show. Click that notification bell so that you know when we go live. But for now, we're out of here on the count of three. So CD2, let's tell the people goodbye. 1, 2, 3.
Goodbye.
Bye.
A heartfelt thank you to all of our subscribers who joined us for this video. If you have not already subscribed, go to our YouTube channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. Subscribe and click on the notification bell to be alerted whenever we go live. Join our private Juice community. Go to www.thejuicecommunity.com and sign up for free. Join us, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. We have our Money Monday financial series. It is a lunch and learn program at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. Also on Monday, we have our reality series and hot topics at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, we have Bible study at 7:30 p.m. Thursdays, we have church news at 7:30 p.m. We also offer motivational moments, happy marriage lifestyle, news from a godly perspective, movie reviews, as well as our single moms club, Let's Talk Ex-Millennials, and of course, our Cooking with Clovis. Follow us on our podcast channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show Podcast, streaming on all podcast platforms. A great big thank you to our podcast production company, Noye Podcast Productions. They can help you create your own podcast also. Contact them today at houseofnoye.com. Thank you to our sponsor, Custom Apparel Shop. Have them complete your embroidery work and silk screening needs. Do you need a logo created for your fashion apparel or company? Contact Israel Mason today. That is 786-657-7501. Thank you to our main sponsor, Truth and Triumph Ministries. Truth and Triumph Ministries, a ministry that cares about telling people the truth so they can triumph in life. Thank you, Truth and Triumph Ministries, for all you do.